nonviolent offender is sent to prison, your tax dollars are being wasted. Incarceration simply exposes these nonviolent offenders to more unsuccessful criminals. Rehabilitation decreases the chance of an individual reoffending. The areas we will cover today will help you better understand why it is more prosperous for you as a taxpayer for individuals to receive rehabilitation rather than incarceration as nonviolent offenders. We will first look at what the basic terminology of a nonviolent offense is. We will look at Oklahoma's current incarceration rate as it involves nonviolent offenders. We will look at the pros of rehabilitation versus incarcerations. And then finally, we will look at the ramifications of continuing to incarcerate rather than rehabilitate. So, first, let's look at what a nonviolent offense is. In the 2004 Bureau of Statistics fact sheet authored by bureaus, a nonviolent offense is said not to involve a threat or cause harm. A nonviolent offense is also acknowledged as to involve property, drugs, or public order. Now, more specifically, in LegalMatch.com release, Izzy's report in 2014, this article entitled Nonviolent versus Violent shows that common offenses that actually lead to incarceration are prostitution, drug use, and bribery. Now that we know what a nonviolent offense is, let's look at the incarceration statistics. In his 2013 report published in OklahomaWatch.org, Hittle showed that we are among the highest in the nation, ranked number 4 in incarceration overall. And at our current rate, we are doing 648 people per 100,000. Now that means that 1 out of every 1,000 person will be incarcerated in the state of Oklahoma. To put that in a better perspective, that says that 301 of the 43,000 people that are currently enrolled in Oklahoma City Public Schools stand a chance of going to prison. Hittle also states that we are number 1 in the incarceration of women. The current statistics showing that we incarcerate 127 per 100,000 women, which is more than twice the national average, which is only 60. These numbers are astounding since nationally incarceration has dipped, while in Oklahoma the rate has increased by 3% over the same period of time. Now, according to DOC's Facts at a Glance, that was published in September of 2014, the current system total is 53,022. Now, this figure includes those on probation as well as those who are actually being housed at a facility. Now, half of them are on probation, half of the 53,000 are out on probation, but more than half of them are actually being warehoused in some type of penal institution at your expense as a taxpayer. Now, what this looks like, I have this graph here, and this shows, this bottom number says that 19,186 people are actually being housed in state-run facilities. Now, this middle bar shows that 7,663 individuals are actually being housed in private-run prisons. That means they are profiting off of individuals being incarcerated, while this top bar shows that only 670 people are actually out on the streets in some type of community program such as GPS or electronic monitoring. So now the statistics show that it only takes about $2.90 a day for a person to be supervised on probation. But fiscal year 2014, the appropriated budget for the Oklahoma Department of Corrections was $463,731,068. That's for one physical year to operate the Department of Corrections. So to break that down, it takes about $87.01 to house someone in a maximum facility prison, and sometimes nonviolent people are sent there. But it only takes, like I said, $2.90 to put a person on probation and supervise and have them report and pay their fees. Now that we've looked at the cost and statistics, let's look at some alternatives. So rehabilitation actually decreases the chances of an offender reoffending. Helping offenders to address their core issues will decrease their criminal activity. In a 2014 article entitled Treatment versus Punishment that was released by Medical Daily, Lim stated that drug addiction is a disease, not a crime, and that incarceration is simply punishment and restraint. Now, this thought alone should stand to reason that without properly addressing the issues, once released, the offenders will simply reoffend because the core issues are still there. They've just been kept away from their solution for a period of time. Now, rehabilitation also increases the chance of an individual being more productive. According to the National Council for Alcohol and Drug Dependency, individuals who understand their addiction are better able to deal with life issues and able to become more productive citizens who can contribute to society. So now that we have looked at the benefits of rehabilitation, let's look at incarceration. Here are the ramifications of continuing to incarcerate rather than rehabilitate. There are limited programs in the Department of Corrections that deal with core issues which will lead to recidivism. In a 2014 article called Punishment Fails and Rehabilitation Works, Gilliam is stated as saying that punishment has little effect on drug abuse. And if we continue, excuse me, if we continue to incarcerate rather than rehabilitate, we are taking ineffective measures, and they're quite expensive. So what we should do is practice what will be effective. And we found out that incarceration, while it is quite expensive, we can't do anything. This will be at the expense of taxpayers to keep citizens who have committed nonviolent offenses in the Department of Corrections. In Polizzi's 2014 article, The Prison Industry in the U.S., it was released by Global Research, and it says that private prisons are a multi-million-dollar industry, and on average, private prisons receive about $55 per day per offender. Currently, with the rate of 7,663, that means $421,465 per day the state pays to private prisons. So, is it any wonder that private prisons are willing to contribute to political campaigns? In an article released in the Oklahoman earlier this year in January, it was reported that our wonderful governor, Mary Fallin, received more than $38,000 from the private prison industry. I'm just saying. So, in conclusion, the evidence is clear. You are not getting your money's worth for incarceration of nonviolent offenders. So once again, we're just going to cover what we've looked at. And this is why we should oppose the Oklahoma Senate Bill 714, which is a bill designed to do early release of nonviolent offenders, whether they've had some rehabilitation or not, just to relieve overcrowding so that we can bring more in, keep the dollars rolling. So I've explained what a nonviolent offense is. We've looked at the current Department of Corrections statistics, I've also described the potential benefits of rehabilitation versus incarceration. And then we've looked at the ramifications of continuing to incarcerate instead of rehabilitate. So I would ask you, do you want your tax dollars to continue to house people for nonviolent offenses, only for them to get out and rob you again? So let your voices be heard. Contact your legislator and let them know we want to push for reformation, not incarceration. Thank you.